Hello, welcome to the Tea Party Howdy channel. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to review Disney Nature's Elephant, which came out in 2020. We're going to review it from the point of view of a film, and also from a little bit of point of view of science, because maybe that's why you wanted to watch the video, was because you were interested in, hey, what's the science in this film about elephants? Well, let's take a look. Alright, so as we look at the movie, a couple things to address. One, it's elephants. Why would the Tea Party Howdy channel care about elephants? If you have to ask that, then you don't know what the symbol is for the Republican Party, which is the elephant. So, coincidentally, not only is an elephant appropriate for a Tea Party Howdy channel review, but it is our very favorite animal and always has been. So we have an affinity for elephants. Alright, that being said, the video is narrated by Meghan Markle. Though it doesn't say that in the credits. It says Meghan, Princess of someplace. Doesn't matter. She was only princess for like 15 minutes because she decided, oh, no, I want to get married. And then I want to constantly whine about everybody calling me black, even though my skin is whiter than the Kardashians. It kinda is. Kinda is. If you're a Mark Twain fan, Pudd'nhead all over the place. If you're not a Mark Twain fan, do investigate Mark Twain's book, Pudd'nhead. There's a couple of movie renditions of it. They're okay. But the story is really awesome because it's Mark Twain. Anyway, so you've got Meghan Markle narrating it. It's for Disney, and because it's Disney and because it's modern Disney, there's a couple of things that happen that you might be interested in, particularly from this channel's commentary. One, it's 100% female-centric. Not only is the narrator a female, okay fine, but all the characters are presumably female in the story. Maybe the little baby elephant isn't, because the little baby elephant is kind of sort of the star, because it is a Disney story. And let's take a look at that aspect. This really is presented not as a nature documentary, but as a story. And you see, there's the little hero of the story. And here he's goofing off with his brother or somebody, I don't know. They're always goofing off. But let's get into the science for a moment. And then we'll talk about the cinematography and some of the audio and visual tricks they use and whether or not that's appropriate in a film. And so let's do that. From a science point of view, they anthropomorphize these characters throughout the movie. And not a little. Oh, definitely not a little. You've got the narrator injecting constantly what the elephants are thinking, what the elephants are feeling. And I just kept asking myself throughout the viewing, how do you know that? How do you know that? Over it, and all the stuff that is interjected about, oh, and this is this elephant's great-grandma, and this is the elephants, and this one's in charge, and that one's in charge. And there's one bull elephant in the whole movie. It's all girl elephants as far as we're led to believe. And of course, they use the word matriarchy several times. So normally it's like, well, why would you care? But it's like, nah, but it's Disney. And Disney has gone female power way, way, way to the extremes. All the way from the narrator to every character in the film, except for the one bull who makes a guest appearance and then whoosh, 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 he's gone. And I can't tell the difference between a bull elephant and a girl elephant because they don't show those angles. And so whether they're telling the truth or not, don't really know. But scientifically, you're not supposed to anthropomorphize animals. In fact, you're warned against it heavily when you start studying zoology. Don't turn them into humans. If they're not humans, don't turn them into anything other than what they are. These are elephants. Treat them as elephants, study them, understand them as elephants. This movie doesn't do that. So if you're looking from a scientific point of view, it's a major fail in that regard minimally. Because they do so much anthropomorphizing and so much interjections of the feelings and the what's the correct way to put it? Like when they're in the elephant graveyard. I don't know if I can just pop up to, oh, it's so cute the way they really do that. Sorry, remember elephants are my favorite animal. They are mud bogging. And then they are playing in the desert. And these are African elephants. These are not Indian elephants. As you can see, they only have the one lump on the head, whereas the Indian elephants have the much more dominant one, and they're much smaller, and their ears don't cover their shoulders, the Indian ones. So these are the African ones, much bigger. Gotta love the way they get their food. Okay, yeah, that's their food. They just shake it down, baby. Shake it, baby. Shake it like you got it. Okay, so from a science point of view, this movie is awful. It's really just awful. Now, what about from a movie point of view? A couple of things. One, the cuts between, just the cuts, are at an MTV level, music video level, where, now I've got this on slow speed, hopefully to prevent copyright stomping, even though I am doing a review. But the cuts are insanely fast. You never have enough time when watching it to truly ingest the image and go, wow, that was cool. If you grew up watching, or you've watched the old versions of film documentaries on animals from 50s, not the 50s, 60s a little bit, basically when color TV was invented, and then the 70s and 80s, they would do long shots for a very long time, so you actually felt like you were there. Yeah, here's the elephant graveyard scene. And they put into the dialogue all of this stuff about the emotions, and it's like, again, as a scientist, you're going to sit there and go, how do you know this? How do you know this? And how do you know that she knows that's her grandma, or whatever the case may be? It's like, no, really, how do you know that? And none of it is told. It's just in the story. Okay, so the cuts are really fast. You don't have time to appreciate it like you do the ones from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that made you feel like you were there. No, this feels like you're watching a cartoon movie. And I don't think that's an accident. Several of the angles they use in the film do reminisce heavily of The Lion King. I don't think that's an accident since it's owned by Disney. The music is on occasion in the style of Lion King. Okay, fine, it's Disney. The music is actually really, really beautiful more often than not. The cinematography would be good if they milked it longer than 2 or 3 seconds. I mean, you're just getting into like, here, I'll give you, remember, this is on mega slow speed. And watch how long it is before they cut. It's a little hard to tell because it's not on the real speed. So you've got about 3 seconds there in real time. And you're like, oh, the big old, bam, they change. Now they're doing and then the dialogue is all about the relationship they had. And it's like, really? How do you know that? Because as a scientist, I want to know, how do you know that? So I can add that to my list of, reasoning, scientific reasoning, as compared to, well, because an elephant said it, voiced by Princess Markle. Boom, you can see. So if I crank this up to normal speed, holy mackerel, it's very difficult to get emotionally invested in this movie. Okay, some of the other things they do, which is just really, really bad. Oh, okay, there is the morning scene. So let's go back to what they call the night scene. And I said that like that on purpose. It's got to get fired up because I have it on slow. But what they do is, if you're familiar with the term day for night, oh my, do they do a lot of day for night. In other words, they just put a filter on and tell you that, oh, it's nighttime, when it's like, then why are there shadows straight down? Okay, let's see if I can get it. Okay, yeah. This is a day for night scene. They just superimpose everything. Look at the shadows. That's not a night scene. You can tell night doesn't create gigantic shadows like that. And then you've got this whole, I don't know how they did the shot, but yeah. And again, that's the tree, very reminiscent of The Lion King, where Rafiki was at. Again, this is the Rafiki tree, essentially. So, is this actually a night shot? Do they just have the lenses wide open? Okay, but what's up with these intense shadows in the night? Have you ever seen those kind of shadows in the night? And they do this throughout the production, where it's highly suspicious that it's actually night. Again, look at the shadows. There was not a full moon. If there was a full moon and you have the lenses cranked way up, maybe. But can you actually get a lens open that big? If you're a photographer, you can let me know. So, as we get to the end of this review, again, this is supposed to be in the middle of the night. Look at that shadow. The science is horrible. If the science is accurate, they don't put it in the movie. They anthropomorphize the characters constantly. The cinematography is beautiful for the few seconds you get to see it before they cut to the next shot and cut to the next shot, cut to the next shot. The interjection of so much hypothetical or narrative is annoying because you don't know what it's backed up by. And the shooting of the night, the day for night, with all of these intense shadows and everything, it just makes you go, I don't think they're doing it that way. So, in the end, is it a good movie? Should you watch this with your kids? If you're going to watch it as a movie, as a story movie, of a story of a bunch of elephants, it works. It's okay. It's not a great movie from that point of view, but it works. And if you treat it as an actual movie, but if you treat it as a documentary or a scientific endeavor, no way, Jose, it just does not play. And as a Tea Party Hardy fan, and as a fan of the Republican Party, and as a humongous fan of elephants, they really didn't do it any justice at all. So, again, look at those shadows, and it's supposed to be the nighttime. You ever seen shadows like that unless it's a full moon? And when there is a full moon and the shadows are like that, can you actually get a camera to adopt it? Again, if you're a shooter and you do filming, let me know. And this is weird. I didn't know they actually sleep laying down, so that was kind of cool. Okay, that's the end of the review for this. We hope you found it entertaining, educational, informative, especially from the point of view of this channel. If you want more reviews like this on other documentaries, let us know. We've done a few and they do okay. And, you know, there's no new movies coming out, so there's nothing to... You know, that's the thing that they said was that gave us the cootie virus. You know, the pandemic right around, that was one of them. They said if it wasn't the bat, it was that thing. Like, so when it showed up, I'm like, oh man, I thought you were in China at the wet market. Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, if you want more of these, let us know. And we hope you're safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you in the future.